Hi, I'm Dobby, but you can call me Dabz.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Today I'm reviewing The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This story is about Nora Seed. It's about her life, her death, and everything in between. When Nora dies, she finds herself in a library, a liminal space between life and death, where she's given the unique opportunity to undo her regrets. And her life has been full of them. So she experiences her life as it would be if she had made dozens of different choices, but soon her time is running out and she must decide how to best live. So this book undoubtedly has self-help themes written all over it. It's just in the form of a fiction book. And when I was scouring Goodreads reviews right after I'd finished it, I saw a lot of people didn't like that. I personally enjoyed it. I thought that the message wasn't a crazy revelation. It was a pretty typical idea about living life and like not having regrets. But I think although it was typical, it was exactly what I needed to hear at the time. So I'm not sure if that's like a good or bad thing, but that's just my thoughts on like the moral of this story. One thing I will say about this book is that I got through it relatively quickly. I think it's around like 280 pages, but the chapters were all pretty short, which I love short chapters. So I think that it was a pretty fast read. And I also felt that I was able to sympathize with Nora's character a lot. And maybe that's because I think I was similar to her in the way that I'm a person that like dwells on regrets a lot too. But I really felt regret for her mistakes as if it was like my own life. I don't know if I necessarily loved her character, but I was able to feel all of her emotions. I was able to feel what it was like to be in her shoes. And I think a lot of that was because of the way that Matt Haig wrote the book. And I think that feeling the way that she felt was more important for the story than like being overly enthusiastic and loving her character. One thing that I will say about this book, which it kind of contradicts what I said about it being a fast read, but there was like a middle part, maybe like 3/4 into the book, where the book started to get a little bit slow and like repetitive. I thought that the storylines, they were interesting to read, but they started to become a little bit dull because just of the way that it was written. Like it became like, oh, I was reading just another version of what happens over and over. And there was also like occasionally, very occasionally, and one or two times, these sections of very long text that were just like listed, and it was just like repetitive lists. Those two things I thought were a little annoying, especially the kind of slower part of the book in the middle. But once I got past that slow patch, it became interesting for me again. So it was okay. I do think that the ending of this book was pretty predictable for me. I had like a sense of what was going to happen from like the beginning, but once I got to like the middle point of the book, I was like, yeah, this is definitely what's going to happen at the end. And I didn't expect it to happen exactly the way that it was written, but it was kind of like the same version of what ended up happening. So I didn't love that it was predictable because I'm personally like, I'm a sucker for a plot twist, but I can't imagine any other direction that it could have gone. Like I can't imagine how else the book could have ended. So I'm kind of okay with this ending being predictable. I think that it just makes sense for the book. So overall, I'm going to say that I like this book. I liked it a lot when I first finished reading it. I think the idea is wonderful. I think that if you're a person that thinks like that inspirational stuff is kind of cheesy, or you have a lot of experience with self-help books already and you like kind of already know that message, you might want to steer clear of this book. It might not be something that you will enjoy. But I think for many other people who are often anxious that they made the right choice, or like just want to read a fun little fiction book, I think that this would be great for you. And it helps that the kind of fantasy, sci-fi, like parallel universe thing that goes on in this book is super fun to read about. So I'd say I give this book 4 out of 5 stars. So that would be the end of my book review. If you like this video, please like this video and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and happy reading.